Hi guys, it's Allie with Chaos Monkey, and I just wanted to do a finish video for the little box of crochet. I did the unboxing video, which you guys can go watch if you haven't seen it. And, oh look, cat again. We have a theme. Every time I do this, I have his butt somewhere in my video. His name's Reckless, by the way, because he's pretty distracto for a kitten. He's just very, very, very active. But anyway, back on topic. So I did finish my little project, and since I was having a fairly good couple of days, I try to crank out the little things and then kind of work on the big things, and depending on how much brain power I have, I'll work on complicated things or simple things. But this was a really cute little project, so I got it done pretty quickly, long story short. So before I show you the finish, I kind of wanted to show you what was left over, just so you guys get an idea. So this was the box, so I just kind of put everything back in here. And for the warmer, I got fuzz on it, this is what it looks like when it's used. And you can reset it. I have tried it a couple times where I boil it for the 10 minutes. Oh, he's gonna... Hold on. I have to get him out. Okay, I'm back. I'm trying not to do a lot of editing. I did have a good editor, just to completely go off topic. But I wanted to remember to ask you guys, does anybody have a free, really easy editor to use? Mine was a little more complicated. It was free. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but they did some type of upgrade and made it so I couldn't find anything to, like, all my normal menus were hidden or something, and it was really frustrating. So if you guys have like a really simple editor that you like to use, or a really cheap one, let me know in the comments. But anyway, back to what we were doing. Now that I'm covered in hair from having to pick him up, here we go. So this is the warmer, and it does get hard like this, and it does work. I mean, I've never used him before, so I was really curious. So you boil it for 10 minutes, and it goes back to clear, and then you push this thing, and it gets warm again. And I've used it 3 times, so I'm like super fascinated. And any of you that probably have these are like, duh, it's not that big a deal, but I really have fun with it, especially when my hands, sometimes I can't warm my hands up, and they start to ache. And so I'll just pull this off my desk and just kind of warm my hands up for a while, but it's really awesome. And one time the cat did it because it was on my table and he stepped on it. So twice for me, once for the cat. We've tested it and I love it. So that was one of the gifts. And then let me see, I just kind of put everything back in here. And then for my leftovers, that's what I wanted to show you, was that there's quite a bit of leftovers in here after the project is finished. So my project measured what they wanted it to, which was 19 centimeters by 19 centimeters, you know, tall and wide. And I still have quite a bit of the main color left. And then all of these little guys, you use very little, and you have like a whole ball, roughly, of these. I used more of the purple because I used it for the tassel instead of the blue. The pattern had to use this for the tassel. And I used purple because I like purple better. So, excuse me. I would clear my throat before I start filming, but it just starts happening. So here, ooh, there's some strings. Let me get those out of there. So this is all the leftovers. So you use only some of the green for some leaves, so there's a lot of that. And then these are used for like a flower each, so there's a lot of these guys. And the white we use more of, but still I have a pretty good leftover. And then the purple, like I said, I used for the tassel, and I used quite a bit for the tassel. And then there's the hook that they included. So it's a cute little fun project, and you get a lot of little leftovers when you're done. So I could probably make like another little heart out of this with some little embellishments, and then maybe even you know, put these in another little tiny project or something. I don't know. If you guys have ideas, let me know. But that was the leftovers, so plenty. Point is, get to the point, Allie. There's plenty to work with. I didn't even do a gauge swatch. I just used the hook they gave me and kind of went for it. So if it had ended up a little bit bigger, I still would have been fine. So just to let you know, plenty of yarn they provide. No yarn chicken. And then I just wanted to point out in the book what I hadn't noticed before was, number one, the pattern has, I knew this, has beautiful pictures. The pattern is really easy to follow. But in the back, they also do a gallery of gorgeousness. So they'll pull pictures off of people's finished pictures off of Instagram, and they'll put them in the book every month. So they like contact you and ask for permission, and then they'll highlight you in the book, which is just awesome. And also you have a little, it's Amanda Bloom's little box of crochet. So this is from Amanda. She usually does a little blurb at the end. Blurb, what do you call that? Oh, no words, no words. But also, it is in UK terms. I don't know if I mentioned that the first time, but they do give you the conversion. And it's not hard. You know, especially on these little guys. Like when it says half triple, it's really just a half double. Or where it's a double, it's actually a single for us. So once you get the hang of it, and you know, you can tell by the stitch when you're working it, you just remember that that's all single crochet, not double, and their triples are doubles. So it's not hard at all, especially on these little projects. So I just kind of want to warn you guys because it is from the UK, and they do it in UK terms, but that's fine. Here's a picture of the finished object, and then I'll show you guys mine. What else did I want to show you in the book? It's just a really cute little book. I just really like these books. They're adorable. And the pattern was so easy to follow. I did this in the evenings when my brain wasn't so great, and I got, piece by piece, I got this guy done. So here's my finish. And it is kind of, it's bulby, so it's going to look uneven, but it's just because it's sticking way up. So check that out. And there's my tassel that I did out of the purple and the green instead of out of the turquoise and pink. They had this out of the blue and then this with the, oops, and this with the pink. So I just switched it up a little bit because we had a lot of blue already in here. And, oh, there's some fuzz on there. There's a little piece of blue fuzz. Get that out of there. So the crown is a little, because my heart is so fat, it kind of stretched this part out. So I'm pretty happy with it. I could have put my crown a little bit over maybe, but then my flowers would have been too close to the edge, so I'm kind of happy where I put it. And it just looks a little wonky because it's right into the middle of the heart, so it just kind of, but other than that, it looks fine. And this one was the hardest part, was putting the words on, because you do like a little, you just do a loop chainy thing and then pull it through. Well, it was hard for me to get that even, so I'm happy with it. I'm not going to fuss with it anymore. I think I got it as good as I'm going to get it. So I think it looks a little better in real life than it does on the camera. At least I hope it does. And then the flowers were just really simple little flowers, little leaves. And then on the back, I just didn't weave these in because I wasn't sure I was going to keep the tassel or not. But that's where I attached the tassel. And then there's the edging, and then this is just a little loop. They make you do a little loop to hang it if you want, and I did the loop, so you can hang it on the wall. And it's a pin cushion. It definitely works. I pinned everything down to sew it with pins, and it holds them pins good. So, and then there's my tassel, which I almost wish I'd used the blue because the blue was a little slipperier. The purple's more grabby, so it's a really stiff tassel. It just kind of sticks out. I think the blue might have hung a little, like, draped a little better, but that's okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the tassel. I kind of like it. It's cute. So the whole thing was really fun, really easy. I didn't make any modifications from the pattern at all. I just followed the pattern, except for, I think, just on the edge, when I put the two heart pieces together, I just I slip stitched them together instead of sewing them together. That's the only thing I did different, which just made putting this edge on a little more difficult because it was a little harder to get in, but it was no big deal. And I like the way it looks. So super fun, super easy, quick little pattern, plenty of extras left over. The only thing was I did not have enough stuffing. When I did the stuffing, it went to about here, and I like to overstuff things because over time stuffing will compress. So I don't know if you guys make a lot of stuffies or you have any stuffy experience, but I have techniques for stuffing crochet and knitted animals, amigurumi, that I've learned over 10 years of how to stuff them to get as much stuffing as possible, as much of the air out as possible, and still not stretch out the stitches and get the shaping and everything you need, but to make it last as long as possible, because it will collapse over time. It's just the nature of stuffing. All the air leaves, gravity, and so I do overstuff just a tiny bit because it's going to compress. So when I did the stuffing, it was to here, and I measured it because I thought maybe my gauge was huge, and I had the 19 centimeters up and down and the 19 centimeters across. So I don't know how, with the stuffing they gave us, how they pulled it off. Maybe I did it wrong, but I had to add some of my own stuffing. That was the only thing, which is no big deal for me because I have bags of the stuff all over the place. So I just stuffed it with some polyfill. I used their stuffing to about here and then just stuffed the rest with polyfill, and then overstuffed it just a tad because I know it's going to go, you know, in like a year it's going to be flatter than when the way it started. Plus it's a pin cushion, so I wanted it really fat for the pins to be able to stick in and not move around. So yeah, super fun. What else can I say about it? I don't think there's anything else I can say. Oh, working with the little hook and the thread. I hadn't done that in crochet before, and I know that scares a lot of us. As you can see, this is like, I want to say like a thin fingering, and with the little hook, and it was fine. It's a little fiddly, but not too bad. And the pieces are so small that by the time you kind of get tired of the fiddle, it's over, and you're like, yay, I finished another little piece. Sewing on was okay, you know, no big deal there, because you have to sew on each of the pieces. Oh, and the hook was fine to use. Oh, I've got hair stuck to it. Cat hair, dog hair, my hairs, everybody's hair. Hold on a sec. There we go. So, you know, I was worried that maybe the neck on the hook wasn't deep enough, but it's fine. The only parts that slipped out for me a lot were doing the edging, because I really had to kind of fiddle it in there, and you're at an awkward angle because it's already stuffed. And so sometimes I would slip it out of the hook a lot. But that's the only time I had any problems, and that was just because, hello, it's awkward. So yeah, the hook is fine. Working with the thin, what do you want to call it? I want to call it thread. Working with the thin cotton was fine. The pattern was really fun. Super little mindless project. So, you know, just do a piece here and there. Like one day I did the front of the heart and finished it up, and then I did the back of the heart the next day, and then I slip stitched it together, and then I think I stuffed it like the day after that, and then I worked on the crown, and then sewed that on, because I didn't want to do a lot of sewing all at once, so I sewed as I went. And then I did the flowers, and then I did the banner, and I did the words last, because I kind of dreaded the words. So I finished the whole thing, except for the tassel, did the words, and because I knew I was going to be futzing around with it a lot, but it wasn't too bad. And then I just knew I couldn't be overly perfectionist about it, because I'd keep ripping it out, and you'd never win. You just would not win, because it's crocheted fabric. You're not going to get perfect letters, you know what I mean? So you just have to let it go. And you can put any word you want in there. I just did love, because I like the love. And then the tassels are easy, you know. Most people know how to do a little tiny tassel, and you don't even have to do one if you don't want to. So that was a lot of fun. So I just wanted to show you guys the finish while I still had the energy to film it. And I can't wait until next month. So this one was February's that I got in March. So March's I should get in April. And that'll be another little project, I'm assuming. And then in around June is where the changes might happen to get the bigger boxes. So, and I'll keep you guys posted on all of that good stuff. But yeah, I loved all of it. There was not one part I didn't like. And even the stuffing, I expected to run out of stuffing because I overstuff anyway. So maybe if you guys aren't, you know, you don't stuff as much as I do, maybe you'd have enough. But that was the only issue, and like I said, it's not an issue for me. I have tons of stuffing all over the house, so I'm always making stuffies or dolls or whatever. And then these were just, you guys saw these during the unboxing. I just kind of kept them all together. I'm just going to put this into my craft storage, so when I have something to put this on, I'll have it handy. These, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. I'm thinking, like, if I collect a lot of these, I'm thinking, like, maybe doing, like, a collage for, like, to put in a frame. Like, put a whole bunch of them together, all kind of yarny related, for your craft space. That would be kind of cool. And, yeah, and I'm going to go boil this today so I can reuse it, because it's really handy, because I have some nerve damage in this thumb, so sometimes when I can't get warm, which is a fibro thing, it'll start to ache really bad, and so I just grabbed this guy and just put it right here, and it stopped all the nerve pain here because I got warm. It was actually nerve damage from my hand got too cold when I lived in Alaska, and I was pumping gas at like 20 below with no gloves, like a dum-dum, and I actually ended up damaging this nerve all the way up my thumbs, so sometimes it'll feel like my thumb's being split in half if it gets too cold. So I can't hold anything cold in this hand. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, long story short, between the fibro and my nerve damage, this just came in handy. Who knew? So yeah, that was super fun, and I'm really glad I bought it. And I hope any of you guys that are interested, go ahead and buy it for yourselves. It's a quick little project, especially if you don't want to spend a lot of time on something bigger, but her projects will get bigger in the future. But even then, if it's over 2 months, you have 2 months to kind of work on something before the next box comes. And I'm looking forward to the plans she has in the future. So, alright, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. I gotta let the cat back in. I had to toss him out. Again, if anybody has good editing software, please put it in the description below. And for anybody who doesn't know, I've noticed a lot of people comment and ask questions on stuff that we already cover in either the video or in the description box. So if you guys don't know, when you look down below, when you get ready to do your comments or subscribe or like or any of that, there's under our description box it will say more or something more. Click on that and it will open up, and it will give like any corrections I have in a video that I messed up on, or all the pricing information, or links to all the shops and the stores and things. Like below, I will put down a link for Little Box of Crochet, so you can just click on the link and go to her website. A lot of people don't realize that's there, so I just kind of want to let you guys know that in 99% of our videos, everybody who puts one up, we usually put all the information we can in that description box. So just click on the more and see what pops up, and usually it will be pretty much all your questions answered, or all the links, just so you can go directly to where you need to go to make it easier on you. And just for convenience sake, it's not too hard to put links in. Sometimes I forget, and other times if I'm doing a ton of shoutouts or something, I won't put every single podcaster link in there, but I'll give you the names so you can just type them in on the YouTube bar, search bar. But I think that's it. I think that's all I really wanted to say was always pull down that box for all the videos you watch if you want more information. Most of us try to put stuff in there if we can. So, oh my gosh, I'm blabbering. So I'm going to go, you guys. Love you. Bye.